Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt, though. I'm L. I'm L. I'm L. I'm L. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt, though. I'm M. I'm M. I'm M. Who you with Kurt? I'm M. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt, though. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt, though. I'm M. I'm M. I'm M. I'm M. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt, though. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt, though. I'm M. Welcome. I'm M. Welcome. I'm M. Welcome. I'm M. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt, though. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt, though. I'm M. Welcome. I'm M. Welcome. I'm M. Welcome. I'm M. I'm M. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt, though. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt, though. I'm M. Welcome. I'm M. Welcome. I'm M. Welcome. I'm M. I'm in. Welcome to Speak On It. Welcome to Speak On It. I'm in. Welcome to Speak On It. Welcome to Speak On It. I'm in. Welcome to Speak On It. Welcome to Speak On It. I'm in. Welcome to Speak. Welcome to Speak. I'm in. 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 I'm in. Who you with, Kurt, dog? Speak On It, Kurt, dog. Want to welcome y'all to the show. It's Thursday night. We back on our original night, but tonight we doing something a little bit different. We have my little sister in the house waiting in the background. It's Risky, but also we have Marisa Ward and also Kenshell Smith, who is a licensed counselor with um, who actually works side by side with Miss Dion Simmons, who's been on the show quite a bit. So tonight is a little bit different because we hear about people dealing with cancer all the time. Um, Maybe somebody, one of your family members, it could be a friend or whoever, but we've all been around someone that dealt with cancer. Um, but Marissa Ward, last time she was on the show, she was running for City Council of Longview. And shortly after that, she found out she had stage 4 colon cancer, which is a huge fight. Stage 4, um, it's a miracle that she's still here today. But she continued to fight. And in the midst of all of this, God put it on our heart to birth a nonprofit, Crown with Goodness. Um, so that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So definitely, if you have family members or someone that you know that is struggling with this, this is a show to actually be able to help you. But first, I'm gonna bring my little sister up on the stage, Miss Risky, um, like I do all the time. What's going on, Miss Risky? How was your week?
It's been better. Got that lazy girl making complaints against everybody in the office.
Oh Lord,
Yeah,
I
she's
thought.
reported me for making Jello shots for some of my coworkers. Well, actually, one coworker who died 4 years ago.
Oh Lord.
So this is like
Well,
4 year, complaint. Like
but
that was like 4 years ago, girl.
have she had your Jello shots?
I think that was the problem, because I had extras and I don't think she got any. So I
Okay,
think she was feeling in her feelings that she didn't get one.
she didn't get enough of it because you only
It
need
is
one of your
possible.
Jello shot.
It
Because
is possible because I mean I only brought six to the office and had them in the fridge in a little, Tom Thumb bag.
hey,
I announced, "Hey, if you want one, take one." And when I came back, they were gone. So I don't know who took them.
oh well. I know I had them and they was good. But you making home. I'm glad to see that you made it home safely today
Yeah,
with this
I
weather.
beat the storm. Ordered Uber Eats, and as soon as I got my order, that's when sirens started going off.
Lord, well, see you
Listen,
up in
it's been
Denton
stressful. I
County,
was like, you know
so
what? I need nachos. Need my nachos.
you up in Denton County, so y'all get it a little bit rough up there.
Yeah, but We're okay. I mean, I heard like it sounded like it could have been some tornadic winds,
No,
but
okay.
we're good. Power
But
didn't go off, so I'm good.
no matter where you are in the Metroplex, definitely be safe. Marisa Ward, be safe because I know you out in East Texas, so definitely be safe. Um, but tonight is a special show, um, dealing with talking about counsel and allowing God to use you while you're in the midst of your storm. It's amazing how we having storms tonight, and then we're talking about this because Marissa actually been in a fight for over a year, and right now she's gonna beat this fight. So without waiting no more, Miss Marissa Ward. Hello,
Hello.
how you doing? Nice seeing you again and hear from you.
You too. Thank you so much for having me.
That's good. Um, so when I found out what was going on, I know we've been in contact um, for months. I will check in with you, or you'll check in with me. But I'm glad to see that you are doing good, looking good, and staying positive. So if you could kind of let everybody know exactly what's going on. And
Um, November 2021. Well, actually, November 3rd, 2021. It was confirmed that I indeed have stage 4 colon cancer. There were a series of doctor's appointments and emergency surgery. After the emergency surgery, I had to go into. I hadn't had to take radiation or anything. Thank God. Um, I went through a year uh, just to be told at the end of that year, which was D22, that my cancer was contained. It had shrunk. I was ready for surgery. I became cancer free, but I would have to take a lighter form of cancer treatment. So, within that month, 2 days before my surgery, I was told that my cancer had spread tremendously, and the mass on my lips, um, and it brought me to my knees. Immediately, I'm going to MD Anderson, where I'm in the process right currently taking up chemo treatments that it has had a lot of side effects on me. With them, I've learned to cope through it all. Um, I have one more March the 10th in Houston at MD Anderson, and then from there I receive another CAT scan a day or two before my surgery, and hosted surgery sometime in mid-April. Uh, so even though that's been weighing on my mind, I'm still pressing through and considering others called us to love each other and to serve each other. And my goal is to do that while I'm going to MD Anderson. That's when I found out how it is with hotel lodging, with traveling, with food. And when you're like me and you have to go every 2 weeks. Now I am very thankful that my family has rallied around me, and they made sure that I've been able to get to and from MD and things that I need here in Longview. But a lot of patients that I've encountered, if you look at the causing the cost within, not their fault, but I do believe that there's more advocacy that could be done. Um, the retail cost that's associated with MD Anderson in Houston, uh, Holiday Inn, they're 89 tax a night, closet every night, and then you have a $10 every morning, and possibly a $7 a day parking fee. So I've teamed up with Best Western Energy Corridor, and their rate is $65 a night plus tax with no deposit. Um, and you don't have to pay for breakfast. And also, I'm teaming up with this, and we'll uh, hopefully get 200 members to start a month, and that'll help me with helping other cancer patients in cost in their gas and possibly food as well.
Okay. I know you in the area where the storm is now. So um oh, I know my service been jacked up too since I made it home. So um but that is a good cause what you're doing, because some people, when you're going through a fight, it becomes more about them and not about trying to help everyone. And you went above and beyond, regardless of what you're going through. You are actually trying to help other people, um, mentally. Um, and this is why we had a counselor on here too, Miss Smith,
Mhm.
um, because mentally that could be pretty um, devastating with the news that you receive, and going from there. Uh, but before we go further, because I want to hear about um, how you felt mentally, and how you're doing today. But before then, I'm gonna bring Miss Smith on, and for she could be a part of it. I'm sure. I believe she can hear everything that is being said. Um, so I want to bring her on and do that. Welcome to the show, Miss Smith. How you doing?
Hi, good evening.
Good evening to
Hello.
you.
How are
And
y'all doing?
doing great. We're doing good. Now that I'm at home safe, people call, tell me, you all right? I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. Not gonna say what I was doing. I know Risky know what I was doing at the time, but she
It's
text
very
me
important work.
exactly. When you're married, you got to do certain things. Uh, so, but um, Marissa, I would like to know, because I know we talk personally, um, because I feel a testimony can help someone. Um, and you share some things with me, how you felt about dealing with everything, kind of like getting hit by a Mack truck. Could you go into details about that? Maybe it would encourage someone not to give up.
Well, one I feel like is so important. Is it's like you said, the way I'm allowing him to work through me and in me while I'm in the midst of it. Like you said earlier, and it's very understandable that you will be just because you're getting, it's so uncertain. The doctors can only do and say, uh, but it's really in God's hands, and along with your mental state. Another reason why I feel like I can be so helpful to people is because imagine for an entire year just be told that everything looks good, you're ready for surgery, you're going to be free of cancer, and then just to be told 2 days before, hey, it's spread, it looks bad, we're going to have to do this and that, worse than what you dealt with before. And so to me, they call me, like, queen warrior and prayer warrior and all of this, but never forget to let people know I am not Superwoman. I may make it look good. I love to dress up. I love to be cute. That never has changed. That's never changed. I had days where I've cried. Um, I've stayed in my bedroom, didn't want to talk to. Look, didn't really want to receive prayer. Leave me alone. Uh, uh, um, I thought about suicide. I actually lined up some pill bottles, most potent, to put me to sleep. If I took maybe between 5 and 7 of them, I knew better than that. So I started calling some friends and told them, what I had, what I feeling and the fact that I had lined the pills up. I spoke with my oncologist, chemo treatments, and what that would look like for me. Um, in the process, a month and a half of me being diagnosed, I had to leave my husband. Decided now to just go ahead and divorce him because of some of the things that took place. Even now, during me still going through my journey of healing, along with some other family difficulties. Even people saying that I'm lying. There's no way you can look the way you do and be positive. Either you're the doctors or their doctors are lying to you. And I'm like, well, I'm going to be the richest woman in East Texas, you know, or I'm going to jail for lying. And so, in the midst of that, I've met so many beautiful patients who are going through. They've given up hope. Some, they don't know whether to turn to. They've just been diagnosed. Uh, I never compare my diagnosis to anybody else. People, even recently, that are going through some terrible, terrible, being diagnosed and going through the procedures and trying to wrap their head around it. So no draining. Uh, there's times I just sit in a corner and just rock. There's times where, not having suicidal thoughts, but I've taken pills, so I wouldn't think about anything. There's times I woke up and thought I was actually dream cancer, that it wasn't real, just to find out that it was in fact real. At this time, I no longer have those thoughts. I'm pushing through with so much faith. I have my challenges, like even now, I don't really feel too good. Uh, I feel kind of nauseated. I'm kind of sick from the chemo, kind of, drained. But I feel like again, pushing through will help so many people, because I want them to, not, again, I never, I'm very transparent. I don't pretend like, hey, I got this and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. No, some days I thought like, wow, like this is real. Or when I go to MDS and then I look at the name, wow, like I'm really going through this. I've really, mouth sores, my skin, don't let the makeup fool you. My skin is missed makeup. Uh, um,
What's your
I,
support system like?
I,
Like, do you have like people, like a emotional support uh, group? I don't know if it's family, friends that is helping you deal with this situation to get you kind of in a better frame of mind.
when I friends have rallied around me, they had a birthday party slash fundraiser. I could get to and from MD Anderson. They from day one donated financially. They donated to me spiritually and in other ways. I come over, they sit with me, they talk with me, they laugh. I have friends that come over and help me clean 2 weeks to clean. I have a friend lady comes in. She'll actually cook me meals, whatever I want. Um, and just sit some. I actually have licensed counselors, therapists, mental illness counselors that I've met through my process that has really and they actually talk with me and whatever I need them to do, even if I just walk there, sit here and just listen. So that has helped along with me getting in the word every day, certain scriptures and even in Hebrew, breaking the scriptures down and I still studies with my ladies, in and out of town, and so that we bounce off it helps me as well.
That's
How
good.
Okay.
often do you see your counselor or your
Um,
therapist?
not not like I should, to be honest with you. Kind of get stubborn and say, "Oh, I don't need to talk to anybody. I'm fine." Just to have a conversation with somebody and then burst out into tears.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized I'm not dealing with this like I should, or I haven't gotten over this part. I could do a little bit better in um, seeing different counts or friends that, uh, and it's not their fault. They actually called. One reached out to me today, and I still hadn't even responded to her. Um, I, I could do better.
And I think the biggest thing too, right? We always think that we have to get over something. And I think the most important thing to realize is that you don't get over it, you go through it. And so the only way to get to the other side is to go through whatever it is you're feeling. It's riding the wave of whatever that emotion is, whatever that feeling is, and to let it come on and ride through it. Because when you try to stop it or distract yourself from it, it just comes stronger and stronger. And so you start pulling away from the people that care about you, the people that's trying to pour into you because you're trying to avoid the feeling, the weight of everything that it is.
And that's what I've done a lot of the times. Yeah, I pull away, because sometimes I don't want to talk about it. In my sorry for me. Um, uh, there, there's so many different, and I try to concentrate on what we're talking about instead of what are they the weight that I've lost. Um, or I know they're smiling, but they really want to. So I just tend to stay away and just kind of hide in my apartment and just busy, uh, doing ministry, um, and mentally, like even with the compliments that I get, I'm still like so intense, and I have to fight through them. Even a news interview I did this morning, and I got so many compliments, but in my mind, I'm thinking, oh uh, uh, my head looks kind of big compared to my body. Black marks, did I cover it up good enough with my makeup? Um, is my wig down? It's just, and while I'm talking with them and smiling, all of these things are going through while I'm trying to do the interview or speak to them about, you know, that I've created. So I definitely need to do better with the counseling myself.
Because it seems like you're struggling with the insecurities that come with everything that comes with cancer, right? And so you're thinking that people are seeing right through what you feel on the inside. And most of the time, most people aren't. They're genuinely looking at you like, I'm looking at you, you are beautiful. I don't see what you look and see as yourself in the mirror. And so you have to get outside of yourself sometimes and take what people say for face value and allow
Yeah,
yourself the space for them to pour into you, but then allowing yourself to be transparent. And so if you can be transparent and say,
yeah,
today is just not a good day, that allows
yeah.
everyone to be with you in the space that you're in the way you want them to, because you set the boundaries, you set the tone for the conversation. So if it's something that you honestly don't want to talk about, you set that tone and state what it is that you want and you need before the conversation even happens.
Okay,
And I would say this because I do take counseling myself. I talk about it on the show all the time. And at times I feel like I don't need counseling no more. But then when I miss a week, I'll be like, "Mm, let me call my counselor up because especially next week, spring break, I won't be able
You
to
said
see
next
them.
week.
Yeah, I won't be able to see them. So I'm like, well, it's the week after. It's the week after, the
yeah,
week of the 13th. But I won't be able to talk to my counselor. I'm like, every year, I hate this time of the year I'm like, what I'm gonna do? But the thing
Yeah.
is, counseling do work, and I understand what you're saying about um, you think it's wasting time. Because when I first went in, the first time I seen my counselor, it took me 3 sessions before I open up, and now my counselor, she not just a counselor, she's actually I consider her as family because I know the difference in my life from seeing a counselor. Because if not, it'll be a lot of folks getting cussed out real quick. So I thank God for my
See, that's
counselor.
therapy for me.
I well, of course, you it don't take much to for you,
But I use
but
create more creative words than the traditional curse words. So I make you think. Like, is that an insult? I think she just insulted me.
be like, wait a minute, no, you gotta think about it. But
Mhm.
definitely,
That
Marissa,
slow burn.
definitely stay with the counseling. And matter of fact, later on, we're going to be talking about um, I have Wellness Counseling Service LLC going across the bottom of the stream because Miss Simmons had been on the show quite a bit. Matter of fact, I think she been on the show quite a bit since I've started the show. What, 3.5 years or something ago? Long time ago. But she always welcome to come on the show, and they doing some great things. So definitely, we're going to talk about it a little bit later. Um, and but I'm happy to see you because if you didn't tell me you was going through counseling and going through chemo, I wouldn't know. And what you see in the mirror, your spirit say a whole bunch because just for you to get on these different podcast news stations and going live, that's helping somebody. To you, it may
Exactly.
not feel like it's helping, but it's helping somebody. It's giving somebody the strength to continue to fight because they can look at you. A lot of time, people say, "I know what you going through," but they haven't been through it. But with you, you're a living testimony. You telling them, even though I'm going through this, I'm still fighting. I can still do this. I can encourage someone else. So never think you're not doing what you should be doing because you are making a difference. That's why when you sent me that news article, the video, I was like, wow. And I immediately respond back to you when you said, "Hey, I want to come on the show." Okay, great. Let me know when. So
Yeah.
that's why we here because you have a testimony and you have a story that need to be told. And I'm here for you all the time. I'm just a phone call away. I know my schedule is crazy, but never too crazy where I won't respond back to you. So,
And
um,
and and, and let me Kurt, um, all of us, no matter what position we find ourselves in, we're still who God called us to be. Still meant to do those great works that He ordained us to do. And so, all with that we go through, it's not all about us. And what I'm going through is not all about me. Yes, I'm telling all about me. We all here on this panel, people that are watching, that all have something that God has placed in us to build somebody else. I've gotten so many phone calls, even today, even in the middle of the night. I get messages about, hey, I saw you on the news, or I saw you on here, or 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 when I go to Texas Apology and pass out flyers, letting them know that I take off my wig to show them that, hey, I'm bald just like you, just fly open, like, oh my God, you look, because they look at me one way, and I have to be so they can see that we're actually we can relate on the same thing. I know that I'm helping a lot of people, and it's therapeutic for me as well. I said, even though I still have my times where I have to fight through some mental battle things, and I think um, Miss Milt, she with her being a counselor, um, sometimes we'll look at prisoners and think, why wouldn't they want to be released from prison after they've been locked up for so long? Why freedom for themselves? And I never understood that, but now I do. For such a long time, and it becomes a part of your life. You're used to being sick now. You're used to having food beside your bed that's old now because you had it. You're too sick to go in the kitchen to put your plate up. You barely could put it together to even fix it or whatever. If you didn't have anybody there with you, you get out on family events, even though you get used to it, but it's still depressing. And so I don't think this way so much now, but I would cry at the thought of getting well. When I want to get well, why wouldn't I want to live? I have children. I have a granddaughter, my first grand. Why wouldn't I want to live to help raise her? But yet I found myself crying. What do I do when I get well? How does the other side look for me now? Yes, I have a little more revelation now. I have a book coming out. I'm doing a host of other things that I never thought that I would be doing. It's been having the strength that I have now, and I know it's because of Christ, me being obedient away. But I understand now really why those prisoners leave after being years of institutionalized, because on mind you get locked in the process of people taking care of you, being able to do anything. You actually, it may sound crazy, you get used to that. Like, I'm in my living room right now. It's times where I felt okay. I would walk out of my kitchen and go, should I go in my living room, or I feel good? And guess what I do sometimes? Go lay right back in my bed when I'm feeling good, and I should be moving around and doing stuff. So that's enough. I find myself battling with sometimes as well.
Cannot hear you, Miss Smith.
Yeah.
The fight isn't just mental physically, it's mentally, right? You have to mentally fight every single moment, every single day for your sanity, for your well-being. And so in those moments where you're sitting there battling, remember it's really not a battle, right? It's the you choosing, who do I want to be in this moment? What do I want to be in this moment? And what do I want to feel like? So if I'm feeling good, I'm going to choose and not give myself an option to opt out of the better choice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And sometimes I do good. Sometimes I fight to still go get in my bed. But I make myself do a lot of writing. I do a lot of research, and that's actually therapeutic to me as well. But mentally, I go lay back in my bed. And there's been friends, hey, I want to take you. I'm like, no, I can't do it today because I don't tell them down. And then I'm tossing and turning because I don't want to be in the bed. And I do get out from time to time. I do get out. I do put on some light and get out. And but it's hard sometimes,
We have to change our environment sometimes to change our mentality. And
Yeah.
so if we're stuck in the same environment day after day after day, our mentality is going to be whatever's in that environment. And so when you change
Right.
your environment, you change the way you see life, you change the way you do life and experience life. And so with everything that you're going through, I would suggest that in moments, even when you don't feel your best, try to change your environment. Even if that's just you going into the living room, it's something different than what your normal is.
right, right. Because even now, even when we sitting here now, and of course, like I mentioned earlier, but even if I was, I'll be counting down like how long my room. And to be honest with you, that's kind of on my mind now. You
Hmm.
know, um, just going back in my room and doing nothing. You know, just sitting there. And so, that's one of the reasons why I'm so transparent with the support that I do have. If I'm having these thoughts, emotions, imagine the people that don't that feel as though they don't have any hope or they don't have, and that's why I'm out doing what I'm doing because I consider myself a strong person. And again, am I a woman? Absolutely not, and I don't claim to be. And I people. Um, but that, again, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing because in this fight together, we're part of the equation of doing, getting, and being better. And so when they can hear, instead of looking at me like, oh, she's dead, I want them to know like don't get it twisted, don't be fooled deceiving. Yes, I am. I'm happy. Yes, I am at peace now, and I'm even with you all that it's a win-win situation for me. You know, if I would keep on, I get to keep on working for Christ. I keep on, I get to keep working for the kingdom and people because I do know who I am in Christ. And if it's meant for me to win the battle, I'll be with my heavenly Father. And I'm not just saying that because it sounds good. This is actually how, even though I do have my breaking moments, the bigger part of me knows that, you when Jesus spoke to the disciples in the upper room and before his betrayal, arrest, and execution, he told the disciples that he was confused. And he said, with you I leave my peace. In this world, you will have trouble, but take. So he's already overcome the issue that I'm going through. I just have to go through the journey, make sure I endure, you know, until my time comes for me, out of this situation until the beauty of my freedom of it all. He warns us throughout the Bible that we're going to have issues, we're going to have struggle, but he promises to to help us get through those struggles. Steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in his word if we allow him. And that's what I do. Again, yes, I still have my breaking points, but for the most part, um, I know that I'm healed. And I know with him enabling me to do what I'm doing, caused me to fail, you know, in my efforts to please him. Because it's all about him, his glory, we're all going to greatly benefit from it. So,
Exactly. If you just now tuning in, you are listening to Speak on the Kurt Dog. We are live tonight. We have, of course, myself, Kurt Dog, Miss Risky, Marisa Ward, who is telling her testimony of fighting stage 4 colon cancer, and in the midst of it, helping other families to deal with, to offset some of the cost of hotel, food, travel, and etc. Then we also have a licensed counselor, Kenshell Smith, uh, who is part of Wellness Counseling Service LLC, with Miss Dion Simmons, who been on the show quite a bit. Um, so if you have a question, please put them in the chat. Uh, and if you know someone that is struggling with this situation, definitely share this live with us while we here, and tell them tune in because Marissa testimony can help them. She's still in the fight, and as you can see, she looking good. um, going through struggles, but still, um, she's still on the front line. So, um, Miss Smith, what if it was one thing you could tell Marissa or someone else that is tuned in, that is dealing with this, what exactly would you tell them to do, or what advice would you have for them?
I would say one, transparency is great, right? So it's good that you're able to be transparent about what you're dealing with in your story, but also allowing yourself the ability to be who you are and what you're feeling. Yeah, there's somebody that's doing worse, but what are you feeling? Your worst is okay. And it's okay to say, I am not okay. I'm not doing good. Today is not a good day. Lord, why? What is the point of this? Because the only way you can help yourself out of it and help someone else through is by acknowledging what it is that you're going through. Someone else is going to be doing worse off, possibly, but that doesn't negate how you are doing and what you're going through. So don't
Right.
push past your hurt, your feelings, just because you know someone else is also hurting.
Wow. And I think the other thing, Miss Smith, is um, you know, a lot of us like with me dealing with like 12% of the colon cancer cases uh occur was under 50. Um, I was diagnosed at 44. Didn't find out till later that my grandmother passed of colon cancer along with some other family. I just want to bring it up too. Making sure that not only we're eating with your environment as well. And I know I'm kind of off subject, but
Oh no,
we're,
you're fine.
okay, we just need to make sure that we're educated and we're getting the so and that could save a lot of lives as well.
Yeah, and especially with your mental health, right? People don't realize that a lot of symptoms that you may have is not something that can be fixed with medication. You're having the nauseousness, you're having vomiting, you're having all these stomach pains, all of these somatic symptoms, migraines. That can be because of anxiety, it can be because of depression, it could be because of insomnia or hypersomnia. There's so many mental illnesses and mental disorders that is associated with these somatic symptoms, and we go to these GI doctors and they're
Mhm.
neurologists, and they can't find out what's wrong. And that's because you're suffering mentally and you're not aware of it. And with Black people in general, the way we experience stress is not by the book on what is diagnosed stress to be. We have more irritability than all other races. And so when you look at it, it's like, oh, you go to doctor, well, I'm just really irritable. And they're like, oh, okay, but they don't say that you're stressed. They don't say that you have a high anxiety because we have a high tolerance to put up with a lot of BS. We have a
Yeah,
lot of things thrown at us and we know how to maneuver and shift and pivot. And because of that, it increases our tolerance, but it doesn't negate the fact that we're still suffering. And that suffering and not acknowledging it or dealing with it or knowing exactly what it is causes us to have all these residual effects that then start happening to our body that causes all of these other diseases and cancers.
That's so true.
wow.
That's true because um, people look at myself and other people, be like, "Oh, you always smiling and stuff like this," but you don't know what I'm going through. You have no idea what I'm going through, um,
Exactly.
and the struggle that I have to deal with, um, when I'm by myself or had to deal with. Because I thank God for my counselor and my wife. Because between those two, hey, I will be a mess. So, and Miss Risky too, even though she a little bit hardcore on me. But,
Trying to throw me under the bus. How dare you?
but,
No, but it's nice that like now people are starting to embrace getting counseling and seeing that it's like back in the day it was taboo, especially in our community. It's like we don't see a doctor unless something broken or we bleeding, you know. So just to see that, people are put together and still saying, "Hey, I'm not all right," and that it's okay. At least now we're starting to get to a better place to where now we can just say, "Hey, I don't want to talk and I'm not feeling it. Can you just sit here?" Or, you have your circle that kind of can work with how you're feeling. If you need hugs, you can get hugs. If you need to just still, be still. And it's all right. Like whatever your comfort and what you need your support to be, it's okay.
Yeah.
So,
And our lives are ministry. A lot of times people are watching you. And so if you're brave enough, strong enough, to go get counseling your own self, and you're able to individuals that, hey, this is what I'm doing for my sanity. This is what I'm doing to make sure that will come whatever situation it is, that'll inspire someone else to go and who's watching you. And um, so that's why I took it upon myself to, to make sure that, I document a lot of what I'm doing. I'm very, again, very, uh, people, they can ask me anything, even men, for women don't like to be asked their age. Like, none of that bothers me. Like, I'm very thing, because all of us, a lot of times, all of us go through the same struggle. Even if our struggles are different, we're still going through something, and we don't always, So who am I to be ashamed of what I'm going through? Who am I to be ashamed? Maybe why I'm going through what I'm going through. The most important thing, I'm standing strong, standing firm on the word, and just being who I know to be, and that's Marisa Ward. I love helping people, but I'm also helping myself in the process. And one thing, I get my proper rest. I take, if I have to take medication, I may, if I need to get dolled up just to be cute, I get dolled up. Massage, I go get a massage. I take my own self out to eat. If I'm not going out with a friend, out to eat, or just someone going through. They may not be dealing with cancer. They may have been dealing with a divorce or a stroke or a heart attack, or it may be a family member taking care of this, dealing with cancer or some type of illness. But um, we're rather you're in a situation or not, you're always on display. So I said, going to counseling, letting people know, hey, I'm going to counseling today. This is how it helped me. Yes, I was reluctant. Yes, I was skeptical, but or I may still be reluctant, but I'm going to give it another. People are watching,
Yeah.
you know.
People watch how you deal with situation when they come to you. You're
Yeah.
listening to Speak on It, Kurt Dog. If you're just not tuning in, we are talking with Marisa Ward, who been diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer, but she's also um, birthed a new nonprofit, Crown with Goodness. Um, Marissa, how can people um, help with this cause?
First of all, it will be a nonprofit. I would run it. So I'm in the process of making it a nonprofit. Some of the donations
Okay.
that I received, the money I have coming in, I'm taking care of other cancer. Um, I have family, friends in my community who are, because they know that it's self-funded right now. Um, but you updated when it does turn into an actual nonprofit. Um, with that being, you can donate to my Cash App, $ Marissa MARISAWARD. You can inbox me other personal, not personal, but information to send the funds. I'm trying to. I'm in the process in the bill, and other ways of receiving funds. It's looking for volunteers. I that are dealing with cancer or dealing with a loved one with cancer, and they're volunteering helping other because through Christ, because I can do nothing on my own, but because of me getting out, they're like, I need to keep busy. I see what my husband is going through. I see what or I lost a loved one to cancer, so I know the feeling. I want to get out there. I actually just got off the phone with somebody that's made a really nice donation, a part of the fight. She has colon cancer, has had some issues uh, and got some other issues going on, and either she's or a little bit younger than me, and she's at stage 1 or 2 colon cancer. Um, so again, my 424-5889. That's the business number. When it's me, I do ask that you text me first, notify me of who you are, and I promise you within a few hours, I would definitely get back with you.
Okay. I'm a. Let me. Is it the number I call you on, or a different number?
That's the number you call me on. Uh,
Okay.
Having difficulties with that, so I can't give the
Okay.
number out.
Okay. Well, what I'll do is, uh, after we get off the air, I will get that number from you and put it out.
Okay.
Matter of fact, Miss Risky,
Okay.
did you send it? Give the number again and put it in the chat for me, Miss Risky, in the private chat, and I'll put it up. What's the number again?
03 four
I
two
didn't even catch that.
four. Okay. 9
903
4 424 5889.
5889.
Yes.
Okay, 903-424-5889. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll put it in the chat where if someone want to reach out to you, want to volunteer, because you actually have an event coming up this weekend, right? Tell us about this event.
Well, it's called Pamper Me Family Day, and we couldn't leave. What we're doing, we want to bring hope in the midst of devastation, in the midst of vulnerability. What I decided to do, my team and I, we're going to more families uh, with, uh, and that includes um, uh, dinner with. We're going to have barbers, hairstylists there. And then afterwards, if they choose to take a family portrait, all of this is free. We have honor with a licensed counselor, ordained minister um, there. We're also giving away care packages for a donation along with a cash donation. And then for the caregivers and the family member packages for them as well. And it's not only personal products like toothpaste, toiletries. We're also giving out like plastic plates. We're giving out feminine products. Um, I think of everything right now, but things that people, if we can on certain things for these people, that's what we want to do. We're going to hear stories who are actually in the midst of their fight, who have I have individuals mentioned for only a year or more, And we're just gonna love on each other. We're gonna have a real, and we're also having enough food to not only where we're going to feed the individuals, that's also gonna have like a large bulk of to go place, and individuals can take food with them because a lot of times they feel too bad to and then the family members, the caregivers, they get tired, so it's a meal for them, um, and we're just gonna have a good and then from there, I'll get a list of volunteers, uh, let people know more in depth about the organization, how they can help donating, and if they actually need the assistance, how I can.
Okay. Um, and I know you did a couple of news stories because you sent me a video the one, and you told me you had to get up early this morning, do the morning show this morning on the local
Yeah,
news also. And I believe you told me they're gonna do another story on you Saturday
yes,
while the event is going on.
yes. This morning, yes, 19 news. Uh, but a few days ago, I TV news. They're coming out Saturday to get a photo uh, and to speak with some of the team who's volunteering. Just to show people that this is what's going on in the Gladewater area, on in the Longview area, the Tyler area, because I plan on moving around. After my also getting together to do a blanket drive as well. So the news station said as well. The blanket drive is for individuals who's actually undergoing. It gets really cold in those places, and even though some of the chemos cause and it does mess with your esophagus. It feels like it goes into a and it feels like you can't breathe. And I actually went through that one day while I was receiving chemo. And I had to be calmed down, and I just thought I was out of here. Um, but it gets really, they have to keep it cold due to germs. And so even though they do have warm blankets, so beautiful for people to have blankets, their own personal blankets with scriptures on there, knowing that somebody gave that blanket to them with love. So uh, one of the reasons for having this Pamper Me and Family Day is just to make individuals of why we exist and why we plan on moving forward. Uh, this,
Okay. I know personally, having to go with my mom to take chemo, some of the patient would have like their feet in
mhm.
in a bucket of ice or something.
That's for the neuropathy. It may sound strange. I thought it was strange. It's really two forms of it. I had it from one of the chemos. It makes your hands tingle real bad, and sometimes they go numb, and you're freezing your legs and your arms, and you can be out in the sun. It feels like you're actually thawing out. You get dizzy, and you have to go back in. That ice, and they also have socks. You can purchase them on Amazon. It helps with the neuropathy, even though you're already it helps it. I know it sounds strange. And then they also have neuropathy where but it makes you feel really, really hot. I mean, really hot. And I went through that and everybody had their heat on and they were bundling up. I had my patio door, my patio because I was hot, and I actually couldn't feel the coldness. That's how hot I was. I can't stand
Hmm.
being cold. Everybody knows that I love summer. You know, with your with individuals having their feet in the ice, that actually helps them with their ness.
Okay. Um,
Yeah.
and back to Miss Smith. Um, I know with wellness counseling service, we talk about it on the show all the time. What a lot of people don't realize, counseling can be free for you. Um, Only thing you have to do is go to your HR, ask about the EAP program, and get some counseling for free. Um, but also, we've talked about this on the show also, the Wellness Counseling Service started a new program where they're actually helping people get counseling regardless of where you are. You could get counseling through them. You could be anywhere in the world. You could get counseling. And I don't know if it's a qualification for it or what, but can you tell us a little bit about that program, Ms. Smith?
Well, one, you just have to reach out, right? Reach out to us, call us, leave a voicemail, send an email, letting us know, a little bit about what's going on. We'll do a consultation, about a minute consultation, and then from there, it's just based on your need, right? So no, you do not have to be physically here. You don't have to come in office. We do telehealth virtual sessions. We also go through insurance if you want to be the one to like, oh, let my insurance pay for it, or you can do self pay. We have very reasonable rates for self pay. And the way we do counseling is we hold you accountable and responsible. So if you reach out for a session, if you would like availability, then you reach out and ask. Because one thing about counseling, it doesn't work unless you're committed and unless you're accountable and consistent.
Mm.
Exactly. And you definitely have to be committed because you don't want to go to the principal office. So, um, no, but counseling, and I tell people this all the time, it's nothing wrong with taking counseling. I know we mentioned earlier in the Black community, we feel like it was taboo to go to counseling. I don't want these folks all in my business, but the
Mm-hmm.
thing is, dealing with a counselor, they cannot discuss whatever you discuss,
And
except for one, two things. If you're talking about hurting yourself, and correct me if I'm wrong, Miss Smith, you're talking about hurting yourself or hurting somebody.
Hmm. Yes, that I mean, and granted, there's other rules and stipulations as far as legalities and wanting us to be summoned for court cases and things like that. But those are very specific. So one thing about our counseling is we're very upfront. So we will let you know through the informed consent process what is shareable and what's not. So it is confidential. We do not discuss your information with anyone else. And when you look at counseling, looking at someone that's unbiased, they don't know you, they don't know your family, and anything you tell us about your family, we're not judging like, oh, I can't believe he did that. We don't know these people. We're not there to judge you. We're there to help listen and help your thought process become a holistic perspective.
wow.
Hmm.
And I think a lot of people don't realize too, a lot of counselors and therapists, they've gone through traumatic situations too. Haven't, but you never know who you're speaking to. A lot of people, they're counselors, they're therapists, uh, because and they decided to go and get the structural education to be able to. So I always tell people, instead of just having this, being so skeptical, thinking that, oh, I'm not, I don't need a counselor, I'm not crazy. That doesn't mean that you're crazy. It's that they can help you look at things in a different perspective, you know, and
And
they
that's all
themselves.
it really is about gaining perspective on any area of your life. You don't have to be going through something really hard and really tough. You could just be like, my coworker is getting on my nerve. Like,
Yeah,
it's what are you going through? Everyone is
right.
going through something, no matter how little or how big it is. And so it's about gaining perspective that you may not have thought, or something that you've just been questioning, and you need someone to just be a sounding board to listen to and say, okay, well, is this right or is this not? And every counselor is different, right? Every practice is different. And so with us, we are not there to tell you what to do. I'm not going to tell you what you should do for your life. I'm going to give you suggestions and tools that you can use in your toolbox, because every tool does not fit every appliance. You cannot bring a hammer if you need a screwdriver. And so it's about learning the tools that you need and knowing when to place them and how to place them.
Okay.
Exactly. And I tell people this all the time. The only way counsel is going to work unless you are truthful.
Mhm.
You have to be honest with the counselor.
Hmm.
That's without a doubt. You have to be honest with them because uh um so you definitely have to be honest with them. And
But before you can
regardless,
be honest with us, right, you have to be honest with yourself. And so
oops,
if you're
you
lying to
said something.
you, if you lying to you lying to me doesn't do anything because I can only help with what I know, only with
Yeah,
the
and then
information
also
you
Yep.
that's
give me.
probably another issue you're dealing with if you lying to somebody who doesn't even know you. That's
Hmm.
supposed, you're paying to help you
Hmm.
with your issues.
And
So
you
that's
look
a
at it as a
whole,
reflection, right? I am a reflection of whatever it is that you want to show me. And so a lot of people, we don't want the mirror on ourselves. We want to be victimized. We want to put the blame on everybody else, but you have to find a level of accountability within yourself to say, did I put my boundaries out? Did I completely explain and verbalize what my expectations was, what my needs and what my wants are? And a lot of us have been groomed to feel like boundaries are a bad thing. And boundaries are just preferences, right? This is what I prefer today, and this is what I prefer tomorrow. And what I need from you, I may not need from someone else. But being open and willing to discuss that and say, hey, this is what I need, and this is what I prefer. And these are what my boundaries are. Because if you don't tell someone what your boundaries, how are you upset that they crossed something that they knew nothing about? And so you
Mhm.
have to be accountable within yourself to say, one, what are my boundaries for myself? And then how do I extend that out to people to help shift and benefit my life? Because if you know you go tell Tyrone something and he is just going to blow it out of proportion, then you might want to decide to put a boundary in place to say, well, maybe I should wait a few weeks till I'm okay with what happened to then be able to go tell someone else because you should know who you're talking to and be able to accept them for who they are and what their responses may be. And a lot of us aren't accepting the people that we have in our life for who they are because we haven't placed a boundary or said what our boundary is to them to get what we need in return.
Exactly. Um,
Mhm.
and we talk about this on the show quite a bit about, um, and it made me think about this morning. This morning on Channel 8, I did not see the story because I was running late for work, but Tashara Parker on Channel 8, she was interviewing this young man today, and um, I heard the question where she said, "What happened in your past can affect you today," which is
Mhm.
so true because what's going on in your past can still affect you today. So if you dealing with stuff from a childhood, it's gonna affect you today, and you have to be able to um, deal with those issues. And that's where the counseling come in and help you to better cope with it. Um, Man, this has been a great show. I have to be mindful at the time because I know Miss Smith been working all day. Miss Marisa Ward is tired. Been up since before the rooster got up this morning.
Yeah.
Um, so we're not gonna take up all their time, but definitely, if you could give to the cause to help. The goal for what Marissa Ward is doing with other people. Uh, Definitely um, take the time and reach out to her. You may know someone that is actually dealing with cancer that need the help, that need to hear the show. Share the show, share it with other people, and be able to get the word out because this is something that we all have to deal with in our family. Um, Marissa, before we go,
Mhm.
anything else you want to leave with the people?
Um, to don't take life, uh, your health for granted. I often, because I can see the bigger picture. Um, we think that we're doing uh, just going to work every day, making sure the bills are paid, we have food on the table. I think that we're doing our family justice by going to football games and cheerleading practices, vacations, and all these other things that come with being a family, with being parents. But to really show that you love them is taking better care of you or taking care of yourself altogether. Don't ignore signs that your body is showing you, like I did. And I waited. Don't think that you're just doing enough because you're taking care of your family. You need to make sure that you get educated on on the different cancers are, uh, with your culture, and what you could possibly your body's going to do what it's going to do. But being educated, knowing about your family, and teaching your family members, so they all know, hey, I need to get tested early, or that's happening to me. It actually runs in my family, so I need to be more aware. In other words, take care of you. It's nothing selfish. If you don't take care of you, then you're not going to be able to do the things that you're doing. Football games, the working to take care of them, going with them on their college, and just other things that that goes with being, the parent that want to see their child out on a lot of my son's events. I was great much for the events that I was able to attend, but there's pictures that we've taken together. I was hurting so bad, but I still mustered up the courage to get like I was okay. So again, take care of you, put you first and your family, and you'll be so thankful that you did.
Thank you. Well said. And also, uh, Miss Risky, what's your closing remark?
Just like I said before, we put on these masks, and it's great that now it's we're breaking those taboos that you know mental health is not valuable and not something you need to take stock in. So take care of yourself, your mental health. It's okay to not be okay. Uh, like you can have a smile on your face and be like, "Listen, I just need a moment," and that should be okay. Accepted. And like I said, respect boundaries, put them in place. Don't be afraid to do that. So, and if y'all want to reach out to me, you can find me in these streets or online at RSKEE at Yahoo. You can send me an email. I'm on TikTok, Instagram. I kind of live on those sites, so you can find me there.
Yes. And Miss Marissa, I know I had your email up earlier. I'm gonna put it back up. Where can
Okay.
people find you on? I know you're on Facebook. Any other social media that you're on?
Right now, I'm not that big on social media.
Okay.
But like a process of getting everything together, I didn't realize that the organization was going to take off. Um, so I'm in the process of getting, like, Instagram and some. But again, it's, Facebook, Marisa Ward, Marisa. They can inbox me, and then you'll uh, bring. And so, but I respond in a few, respond immediately, like I try to do. It's only because I may be taking medication, I'm procedure, but I always, I'll even contact you while I'm in the, and so, but those are the places where I can be reached. Uh,
Okay, and I also have your email up also. Miss Smith.
Hmm.
um, Where can um, well, I have the information going across for the wellness counseling service. That will be the best place to find out if you are a good fit,
Yes.
and so definitely do that. Um, and I want to want to challenge the brothers because a lot of
Mm,
brothers do not like to get checked out.
yeah.
Um, I've been getting my prostate checked since I was 35. Even though they say for
In the
black men
last
it
5 years
should
with a
be 40.
professional. It was too
all
easy.
all of them been with a professional. I left the doctor because I think he had his ring on one time, but I had to get away from him. But no, but on the real, um, brothers, get checked out. Get checked out. Get your annual physical. And
Mhm,
everybody, if you listen to your body,
mhm.
regardless of what's going on, you know your body better than anybody. Um,
That's right.
you can definitely get checked out. If something not feeling right, go get checked out. Don't wait.
Exactly.
Um, um, ladies, I appreciate y'all. The Day Trip Diva. Thank you for joining the show. I appreciate everyone for tuning in tonight. Miss Marissa, if you need anything, I'm just a phone call, text away. Just let me
I know.
know. And I got to get with my banker and see what we could do. 'Cause my wife.
Yeah. Oh, I was
so,
like,
but definitely thank y'all for coming on. And this has been a wonderful show. Um, If you need any information as for counseling and stuff like that, definitely let me know. I can share the information with you. Hit me in the DM. Instagram probably the best way to catch me. Or the number is strolling across the top of the screen 972-591-3665. You can send me a text to that number. I will respond. So we will do that. So thank you. The Day Trip Diva said enjoyed it. Wish I could have joined earlier. Thank you so much. But you can watch the replay. I appreciate you for tuning in. Um, so until next time, we love each and every one of you. Peace.